All right, today's the last task for geometry and the last task of this little mini unit. We're going to talk about rotating a shape around the origin. So we're going to move it around the origin counterclockwise. So a rotation is really just a turn around a fixed point called the center of rotation. And so the figure just rotates around a specific angle or and a direction. And that direction is usually counterclockwise. If I can fit that in, counterclockwise. So we're going to the left around the origin, to the left. And so the figure can rotate around any fixed point. The most common center of rotation is the origin, that point 0, 0. And that's really all we're going to use today, rotating around that origin counterclockwise. So a 90-degree rotation would be going from quadrant 1 into quadrant 2 over here. And when that happens, we just have a real quick kind of formula. I'm going to take the ordered pairs that I originally have, and I'm going to flip the x and y around, but the y is going to become negative, negative. What that does is I'm going to, let's go ahead and actually practice this on number 1 down here. Let's look at our given, can I fit this all in? Our given points A, B, and C on number 1. I want you to go ahead and graph those. A is at 2, 7. Go ahead and graph B and C. So graph A, B, and C. And then I'm going to actually write myself a little note. I'm going to change everything to negative y, comma, x. That way I can move my screen up here a little bit. Negative y, comma, x. So if A is 2, 7, that 7 is going to actually go to the beginning and become its opposite, negative 7. And the 2 will go at the end. 6, 5, I'm going to flip the 5 to the beginning, and it's going to become negative 5, comma, 6. And 4, 1 is going to flip around and become negative 1, 4. And these are the points I'm now going to graph. Negative 7, 2 is right over here. That's going to be my A prime. Negative 5, 6 is up here at my B prime. And negative 1, positive 4 is here at my C prime. And so it has rotated around the origin. This shape has rotated around the origin just 90 degrees. Let's do 180 degrees. My rule for 180 degrees, again, we're going counterclockwise, we're going 2 quadrants that way. Anytime I'm given an ordered pair and I want to rotate it 180 degrees, all I'm going to do is actually just take the opposite sign, change both signs is what I'm going to do. So if I had a negative here, it'd become positive. If I had a positive, it's going to become negative. So if I'm looking at number 2, 180 degrees, again, I'm changing my signs on both. I'm going to move my screen up so I can fit everything in. Let's go ahead and start by graphing PQRS. Take a moment and graph that image. So pause your screen and make sure you have PQRS graphed. And then all we're going to do is change our signs. So if I have a positive 2, this is now going to be a negative 2. If I have a positive 6, this is now going to be a negative 6. And I'm going to do that with all of them. These ones are all positive, and so really they're flipping to all be negative. But if you're given a negative, make sure you flip it to become a positive. They're just changing signs every single time. And so these are the new points I am now going to graph. Negative 2, negative 6, whoops, right here, is down in my 3rd quadrant over here. Negative 5, negative 6, negative 5. Negative 5, negative 1. and -1, -2. So P prime, Q prime, R prime, and S prime. And so that square has rotated around 180 degrees. The last rule that I'm going to show is rotating 270 degrees counterclockwise. This time, I'm going 3 quadrants around my origin. So if I'm given an ordered pair X, Y, my rule is going to actually be to flip them around. Y is going to go first, X is going to go last, but I'm going to change my sign on my X. So let's practice that on the next page. 270 degrees. This is going to become Y, comma, opposite X. So I'm changing my sign on the X. So let's go ahead and take a moment and graph JKLM. So J is at 3, 4. K is at 6, 4. And it makes that nice little trapezoid there. Pause your screen, make sure you have all 4 of those graphed. And then let's go ahead and change our ordered pairs. 3, 4, 3 and 4 are gonna flip around. So 4 is gonna be first, but now that 3, I'm gonna change the sign. It's gonna become -3. Okay, that 6 and 4 are gonna flip. 4 is gonna come first, but now that 6 is gonna be -6. L, 8 and 1 are gonna flip, but now the 8 is gonna be -8. And M, those flip around, they're the same one, but that second one, that X value one is now going to become a -1 in the Y spot. And so let's graph those 4 ordered pairs. +4, -3. Oh, whoops, wrong. For my J prime. -8 for L prime, and 1, -1 for M prime. And so if you notice, it's definitely not the same direction. It is rotated all the way around. This has turned and turned and turned to now being 270 degrees counterclockwise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through 4, 5, and 6. We are going to just test our selves on how to write the ordered pairs, and you're going to go ahead and graph them, but I'm only going to do the ordered pairs for 4, 5, and 6. So for number 4, before I even start, let me go ahead and write a little cheat sheet off to the side. And I like having this right next to me so that it's real quick and easy. So if number 4 is asking for an 180 degree turn, I know that my 180 degree turn, I just have to change both of my signs on my X and my Y. I'm not flipping them around, I'm just changing their sign. So if my X is 3, -2, my X prime is -3, +2. If my Y is 6, 1, I'm going to change both those signs and it's going to become -6, -1. If my Z is 5, -7, my Z prime is -5, +7 as my final answers there. If I'm doing a 270 degree rotation, my ordered pairs flip around and I change my sign on the X. So if I have -5, +5, they're going to flip around where I have 5 come first, but that -5 is now going to become a +5. D is -1, +7. They're going to flip. I'm going to put 7 first, but that -1 is now going to become a +1. E is -3, 3. They're going to flip around. I'm going to put the +3 first, and my -3 is now going to change signs and become +3. F is negative 7, 1. That positive 1 is now going to come first. And that negative 7 is going to become positive 7. So those are my new ordered pairs. My last one that I'm going to show is a 90-degree counterclockwise. So these, my X and Y switch, my Y changes sign. So when I have negative 3, negative 1, the negative 1 is going to go first, but it's going to become positive 1. And I keep that 3 a negative. 0, negative 2, my negative 2 is going to actually flip first and become positive 2. And I keep 0 the same. Negative 2, negative 8, my negative 8 is going to go first and it's going to become positive 8. I keep that negative 2 the same. Negative 5, negative 7, my negative 7 is going to come first, but it's going to become positive 7. Negative 5 stays the same. If you want to pause your screen for a few minutes and try 7 and 8 on your own, I will show the answers in about 5 seconds. Here's the answer for number 7. I have my original image and I have my rotated 180 degrees image. Then for number 8, I have my original image and I'm now going to rotate it 270 degrees counterclockwise. And here's the image after rotating 270 degrees. Check your answers and then start working on the second page.